Okay, time for my Suzie rant. And this is something that happened literally yesterday and has set me all the way up. So, Armin, please bring up the Exhibit A. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Exhibit A. Iran International TV host stabbed in London attack. Okay, so for when we have a full written news story, I usually have a full summary written ahead of time, blah, blah, blah. I don't have this here, so I'm just going to have to go off the cuff. So, this happened literally yesterday. This man that you see before you is his name is Pouria Zeraati, and he is a TV host, I believe, of the show called The Last Word on Iran International. For those who are not familiar, Iran International is the largest free Iranian Persian language news station in the world that is very anti-regime. And they are based in London. And Pouria yesterday morning was stabbed outside of his house when he was leaving for work. And luckily, like he's going to be okay according to what I've seen. Like he's recovering in hospital. Okay. So I don't believe his life is in danger. I mean, it's clearly in danger, excuse me. Like I don't think he's going to succumb to this attack is what I'm saying. I found out about this yesterday because when I was in the middle of the workday, one of our Atheist Republic members, who is a young man, younger than myself, who we helped get asylum in his country, I won't say where, texted me about this saying, "Oh my God, Susanna, this just happened." Because this person, this Atheist Republic member himself, is a victim of Iranian transnational repression. So this hit really close to home for me. The UK needs to get its act together and protect your dissidents, protect your citizens, protect your residents from the terrorism of the Islamic Republic. Because here's the thing, I'll provide a little bit of context. We know that the journalists at Iran International, which is based in London, have had threats against their life for years now. Because as some background, there are two journalists from Iran International called Seema, I can't remember her last name, and Farhad. They're like the biggest presenters, right? And there was an assassination attempt or plot against Seema and Farhad that was orchestrated by the Islamic Republic, orchestrated by the same wing of the Islamic Republic, the IRGC, as the force that was trying to assassinate, had multiple plots to assassinate American Iranian journalist Masih Alinejad. One of them was to kidnap her from her home, transport her to Venezuela, and then extradite her to the Islamic Republic, where they would probably execute her. You want to know what's most shocking about that plot, Armin? The plot against Seema and Farhad, which was the code name for that was the wedding. And Seema and Farhad, their code names for that were the bride and the groom, where they were going to explode their cars, pull them out of the vehicles, and then stab them with kitchen knives. In the middle of London. This is the plot. Seema and Farhad did not know that there was this plot against them. They knew that they had threats. You can't do this and not know that you have threats. They did not know about the specifics of this plot against their life until the television station, ITV, was doing a story on this plot and came to Seema and Farhad to have their comment. They did not know the details of this plot against their life until other journalists came and made them aware of it. That is beyond shocking and shameful. Because when Masih Alinejad had plots of assassination against her, you know what happened? The FBI comes to her front door and protects her. They inform her first. When there was a plot against Masih, Antony Blinken, our Secretary of State, came to meet with her. She finds out from the government. She finds out from the bureaus within our government dedicated to protecting her life as an American citizen. But the United Kingdom citizen, Sima Sabet, does not find out from her government. She finds out from other journalists who are covering the story. That's how shocking this is. Shameful. The UK government knows that it is so inept at protecting its own citizens that they told all of Iran International as an organization that they should leave and relocate to the United States. And this entire news agency, which is the largest anti-regime news agency of free press in the world, moved their operations to Washington, D.C. Because I don't know, maybe the government will take the protection of them seriously over there. And they were located over in DC for almost close to a year. They only recently relocated back to London. I think as early as February, like very, very recently, they just moved back to the UK. Very, very recently. Pouria, this man that was just attacked, had told the Metropolitan Police several times, there are threats against me. People are posting pictures of my front door. They know where I live. They were not receiving proper protection. After this attack on Pouria, Sima, codenamed the Bride, was told by the Met Police, you have to relocate. You're not safe. Do they give a single shit? And look at the behavior of the Metropolitan Police when it comes to Nihat Gorbani, who we were just covering in the previous segment. They're blaming him for the threats against him. Like, do they have any care in the world for the victims of transnational repression? We know that the Islamic Republic will run up and down any single country they want, trying to assassinate people. Do you want to know what the Islamic Republic does to people who try to negotiate diplomatically with them? Look up what happened to Kurdish representatives in Vienna. Look at what they've done to Iranians in Vienna. I'm talking they go into the meeting room for diplomatic purposes and shoot up the whole place. Leave the representatives who are supposed to, I mean, this happened decades ago. This isn't new. The representatives who are there to represent the interests of the Kurds, you know, who have their very own specific issues within Iran, literally bodies hanging over the tables, assassinated. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And like this is when I got so angry yesterday when I was talking to Armin about this. And part of what I said to you yesterday was like, this is part of why I am next level over appeasement. The Islamic Republic is an abnormal regime. There is no negotiating with them. There is no like diplomacy with them. They are terrorists to their core. They've been that way since the beginning. Once they saw the effectiveness of the student hostage situation in 1979, they're like, oh, this is not a fluke. This is our modus operandi. We should know this by now. We should know this by now. Why do people keep acting surprised? There is no appeasing, there is no negotiating when this is your modus operandi. Iranians have been screaming this at the top of their lungs for decades. We will not see peace in the Middle East until this government is gone. That's a fact. It's a guarantee. Because we were starting to see normalization with Israel and Saudi, again, transforming the region as we know it. And the Islamic Republic destabilizes in the most barbaric, brutal, jihadist of ways. So don't play into anyone's BS when they say, oh, well, if you just stop insulting, they'll stop killing. Oh, if you just stop mocking, there won't be violence. Oh, if you just stop drawing cartoons, they won't kill you. Oh, if you just stop criticizing, they won't get so angry. Oh, if you just stop, going unveiled, they won't arrest you and systematically rape you. Oh, if you just stay in the home and don't get an education, we won't have to flog you. We won't stone you to death. If just stop having premarital sex, we won't flog you. We won't stone you to death. Just stop refusing sex from your husband and you won't get beaten. Just stop dishonoring the family. We won't honor kill you. Just stop blaspheming. Just stop apostatizing. We won't kill you. Just stop being so disgustingly homosexual. We won't throw you off a rooftop. There is no appeasement, so I'm done pretending. There is no appeasement when we are talking about a totalitarian, totalistic ideology that is universalist in its ideals, all-encompassing in its aims, all-encompassing, and global. Just stop preaching your religion. We won't have to persecute you. Just make your religious building smaller than ours. Just pay the protection money. We won't mistreat you. Just stop being an unbeliever. You won't be treated as a second-class citizen. So I hope everyone is aware that you shouldn't buy into any of this BS, that if we're just more respectful, that's how we win here. It isn't. Because then you're playing the game. You're playing the game. You're playing the game that says, if we don't curtail our own behavior, like you say, in subservience to an ideology that you believe in, but I do not, that I will be safe. Too many people have died and been tortured, murdered, had their lives upended. They're the littlest of joys. The joy of a little girl singing. The simple pleasure of feeling wind in your hair. The soft moment of kissing who you love on the street and holding their hand. Millions of little pleasures taken and robbed from the lives of millions of people. There's so many of those little intangible opportunities for a little bit of comfort in our lives that are taken from millions of people over 1,000 years. It's incalculable. the well-being that could have been had. In service of what? In service of a death cult. Especially the Islamic Republic, one of the biggest death cults in the world. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And what do we in the West do? Where we are supposed to have protection from these rights, for these rights? Look at how we are treating the people who have sacrificed more than any of us would ever be willing to sacrifice for the sake of these freedoms. We point to them and say, you're the problem because you're inciting them. You're the one disrupting the peace. It's beyond shameful. I don't even have words for it. We have like so morally and utterly failed. It's absolute insanity. And the price for people who are willing to say what they see in front of their face and not play the game and not notice the patterns and not just call a spade and not do their research and read the texts and understand the implications and understand history and understand the mandates and understand the fundaments and understand the tenets. Like, we have to live in fear. We have no delusions about what's coming to us, what could come to us, what's the risk, what's at stake. And it would be a lie to say that it's not scary. It changes the entire way we live our lives. But I guess that speaks to the strength of our convictions. But at the same time, it's a luxury. It's a luxury that I live in the US and I know I have the FBI. And I know the FBI has taken measures to protect people like apostate prophet, our friend Ridvan Idemir. We know that the FBI protects him, that they've shown up at his front door to tell him about what's coming to him. That's a luxury because obviously the United Kingdom doesn't feel the same way. When some of the top journalists in the country do not find out about plots on their life from the government, but from other journalists interested in exposing the threats to free journalism in their country. Like, this should be beyond a reckoning. This reckoning should have happened a long time ago. I don't know what's going on in the UK. I don't follow politics over there really closely. But if you live in the United Kingdom, I hope you're contacting like whoever your like representatives are or something. I don't know. This is a disaster.
The representatives are actually their lives are being threatened as well.
That's right. We literally talk about how their own government officials have to quit because of the threats to their life. Where is the government? What are you guys paying taxes for? When literally your own politicians quit because they know that they have to quit, otherwise people will try to kill them. When Sir David Ames, or MS, however you pronounce his name, was assassinated in the middle of his own political surgery, whatever that term is that you guys use for it, in his own constituency, why was there not a reckoning then? And let's not ignore the fact that this all happened after, 14 years of conservative governance? This happened under the conservative government. that you've gotten yourselves in this position that you're in. So as much as the conservatives love to hem and haw and Suella Braverman, like, you know, there's a lot of things I agree with her on. Some things I don't. But, you know, former Home Office leader, secretary, whatever the position is, Suella Braverman, you know, this happened under conservative rule for the past, like, 14 years, guys. Oh my God, Shami is saying his representative is Naz Shah. Good luck. So I was looking into the details of this attack yesterday. He was attacked by several men. I don't believe they've arrested anyone yet.
We'll find out.
I was literally thinking about, I was like, oh my God, if I lived in the UK, I would be trying to leave. Like, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, I would do not feel. I would not doing what I do. I would not feel safe in the UK at all. By the way, there's a lot more details about this that people are talking about that hasn't been confirmed yet, so I'm not going to mention it here. But remind me to tell you about it offline.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Kenny is calling it my Urbi et Orbi. That's a Catholic term addressed to the world.
We should go. I should go pretty like in a few minutes. But a lot of people wanted you for the UK Prime Minister. Somebody said that world Prime Minister, and then somebody said, well, maybe US President, given that you're American. And then we got a super chat.
Oh, Angie's saying, Britain, protect your people. Why do you let this happen? I know.
You should go after people. You know, they do actually send police after people who liked certain tweets or misgendered.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that this is the United Kingdom's police's priority. We're gonna go after people and arrest them for liking a supposedly homophobic tweet. Or we're gonna go arrest you and interrogate you over what they deem to be transphobic. Oh my God, you're a TERF. Let's go arrest you. Give me a freaking break. It's so embarrassing.
Or making their dogs do the Nazi salute as a joke, as a comedy, as something that is supposed to be humor.
Be serious. And all of this is bullshit because they're afraid of being called racist. Stop being fucking pussies. Right. Are you men? Do you have a stiff upper lip or not? What happened to the UK, what it used to be? Not to sound like a frickin', you know, what happened to men? But this is insanity. Get your priorities straight.
Look at this comment by Jean. It's perfect.
Jean, we love you. Saying I'm trans and non-binary. No Twitter post is more important than human lives. Yup.
Beautiful. Okay.
It's absolute insanity. So all that to say,
don't forget to like. Don't forget to like before you leave, and leave a comment after the show.
Yes, and also we are wishing a speedy recovery to Mr. Pouria Zeraati.
Yeah, Pouria. And Pouria, once you recover, invite me on Iran International. Okay, I have been trying with Fat Dot, it hasn't worked. Now that after this recovery, do an interview with me. Guys, make sure you tell your friends and your enemies to come and subscribe to Atheist Republic YouTube channel. There's a ton of people watching us on Twitter right now. 500 people are watching us on Twitter. You better hop over on YouTube and like and just subscribe to the Atheist Republic YouTube channel. Guys, please, word of mouth, advertise us, tell people to come and subscribe to the channel. Leave a like, leave a comment. It feeds the algorithm. The YouTube gods will bless this channel and will make it grow faster if you like and subscribe and hit the bell notification and leave comments. Do all of that. Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.